This is KGW News at noon.
Crews in Portland at this hour still hard at work cleaning up downed trees as we approach a week since a winter storm hit the area. Hello, thank you so much for joining us here at noon. I'm Christine Pitawanich. This was the scene just down the road from our newsroom earlier this morning. And you know, this site wasn't an uncommon one. Trees went down across the Portland metro area this week due to all the high wind and rain. But this one in particular that was blocking all the traffic on Jefferson is now finally out of the way. Just before noon, crews arrived on scene, getting lanes cleared up. But it's not just downed trees crews are working on. Thousands of people are still without electricity, the vast majority of them in Oregon. Take a look at this. At last count, Portland General Electric has about 700 outages with over 7,000 customers affected. Meantime, Pacific Power is reporting 170 outages with over 2,000 customers affected. And in Clark County, Clark Public Utilities only reporting, yes, your eyes do not deceive you, 5 customers in Southwest Washington affected by outages. Our Rod Hill, you live in Vancouver. You're one of the many fortunate ones with power. But what's the outlook looking like today?
By the way, my house was 4 hours the other day during the windstorm. We didn't have anything, but it came back on right before it got dark, so that was fine.
Okay.
Yes. We feel for those of you still without power. Here's a look at what's going on. You know, we started off with some steady rain this morning. There's another shot of that moisture coming in this evening with the cloud band you see offshore. In the meantime, it's cloudy and kind of foggy, and it's mostly some light precipitation across the area. And I don't think we're going to see much in the way of total moisture through the afternoon hours. But here's your big heads up for this evening. This is 6:30. Look at all the steady rain that will be coming in once again for your evening plans. Cloudy skies, light rain falling in Cannon Beach, and there's the foggy look with the low cloud deck down kissing the cityscape of the Rose City. We're only at 43. That's out along the Columbia River where there is a bit of an east wind producing some cooler temperatures out near the gorge. We'll be up into the mid 40s this afternoon. Again, the big headline is that push of steady rain starting early this evening. The forecast for the weekend still looks pretty dry. We'll have that for you coming up.
Okay, can't wait to hear all about it. Thanks, Rod. Okay, take a look at these new photos out of Newport today. Wow, it shows the scope of the storm's impact. This semi overturned Tuesday on the Yaquina Bay Bridge. The truck also pinned 2 other cars against the railing that you see there. Several people were hurt and taken to the hospital. Police say severe crosswinds blew that semi right over. Wind gusts along the coast on Tuesday were as high as 80 miles per hour. Now to an update on one of the other top stories that we've been covering this week. We are talking about the travel nightmare that so many people have had to deal with, namely travelers who booked a flight through Southwest. Today, that airline canceled another 58% of its flights. That's almost 2,400, by the way. We talked to a woman from Northeast Portland whose 78-year-old mother was stuck in Oakland, California, while trying to fly from New Orleans to Portland on Southwest. Tracy Hurst told us her mom has several health issues, so she and a family friend hit the road and drove more than 9 hours to Oakland to pick her mom up.
They said they wouldn't be able to get her out until maybe, it wasn't even for certain, December 29th. And I was like, how is that okay? It's a waste of energy to be frustrated and to be mad. You kind of like gotta just think about this. What's the solution? Because at the end of the day, it was my mom sitting at the airport.
Southwest has largely blamed weather for this week's issues, but the Pilots Association is also pointing to an archaic system that it says can't handle crew reassignments and also struggles with tracking the locations of planes, pilots, and flight attendants. The U.S. Department of Transportation is now investigating the airline. Today, a Westland family of 9 is still recovering after a devastating fire gutted their home on Christmas Eve. But as our Christelle Kumwe found, while they lost their home, they're grateful for their neighbors.
We all had gotten dressed in our Christmas pajamas. We just took photos.
But just minutes later,
and we see the door and there's black smoke coming in.
The Christmas Eve celebration inside the Buse family home in Westland quickly turned into terror.
My daughter came up the stairs and she said, "Dad, there's smoke coming in from the front." I grabbed the fire extinguisher. I came out here and this entire section here was on fire.
14-year-old Kaylor says she remembers her 6 siblings, Mom and Dad trying to scramble to safety.
You look around and you see like fright in your dad's eyes, and you see your mom crying and screaming for your brother because he was upstairs in his room.
Everyone made it out. Fire crews responded quickly to the home on Knox Street and got the fire under control in about 20 minutes. But the damage was done.
It's completely gone on the inside, so it's terrible.
Clothes, Christmas presents, and 6 years worth of memories lost in just moments. And that's when the community stepped in.
I said, give me genders and give me sizes. And I looked at my husband and I said, Christmas is today. We can't do this tomorrow.
Patty Sears is the founder of nonprofit Bloomin' Boutique, which serves children in need. She quickly put together bags for every member of the family.
It's part of my mission of my nonprofit. It was kind of a God thing. No, it was needed to do for those kids.
Like all your toiletries, makeup, everything. They had everything. It was like a care kit, and it was truly amazing. Those people are angels.
Then more angels came out of the woodwork in the form of neighbors, friends, and strangers.
And we've had people, just show up with whatever we could need.
The Buse family is now staying in Canby with friends, overwhelmed by both the loss and by an outpouring of support.
The first night I was like, our life it's really hard and it's like an ending. The next day you're like we can live again. We're gonna get a house and it's gonna be all right, and God worked his magic.
Christelle Kumwe, KGW News.
With less than 2 weeks left in her term, Oregon Governor Kate Brown has been pretty busy appointing judges to the state's highest courts. Yesterday, she announced 5 new appointments, including 2 to the Oregon Supreme Court, 1 to the State Court of Appeals, and 2 others to Multnomah County Circuit Court. In total, Governor Brown has appointed 112 judges during her time in office. Now to a sad update on a well-known spot to unwind. One of Portland's oldest brew pubs has permanently closed one of its locations. In a Facebook post, the owners of the Lucky Labrador Tap Room and Pub on North Killingsworth alluded to pandemic-related struggles. But the longtime Portland craft brewer said its 3 other locations on Southeast Hawthorne, in Multnomah Village, and in Northwest Portland will remain open. And with Christmas officially behind us, a lot of people are starting to think about taking down their trees. But did you know there's a way you can recycle them that also helps our local salmon? On January 7th, the North Clackamas Watershed Council will be collecting trees at North Clackamas Park from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. The executive director says most of the streams in the area don't have enough wood in them, and the salmon need wood in the creek so they can hide from predators. The needles on the trees attract insects, which then feed the fish. In early February, volunteers will take the trees to the Willamette River and tie them to some logs near Elk Rock Island in Milwaukee.
And our creeks used to have a lot more wood in them than they used to. And over the decades or centuries since lots of people started living here and building cities and houses and things like that, we have simplified our streams too much.
The council is asking that trees be free of artificial frosting or any decorations that could harm the fish. There is a $5 fee for recycling that helps to fund Watershed Council projects.